Hi, everyone. We are live. Welcome. My name is Isa. I'm the webinar producer at ConvertKit, and I am here with Brad, who I'm sure you know. Brad, where are
Hey,
you in the world today?
I am in southern Alberta, Canada, and it's super hot out. So in the summertime, we get everyone thinks like Canada is like really cold and stuff, and it is in the
Yeah.
wintertime, mostly up north. There is a north to Canada. I'm in the south, like just above the border, and right now it's like, oh, what's the temperature? It's almost 35 degrees Celsius, which to Fahrenheit is basically like, I couldn't tell you the exact right now doing the math in my head, but it's basically like you're in Palm Springs in the desert. It's like 100 degrees.
Whoa. I
Super
didn't know
hot.
that ever happened in Canada.
Oh
I'm
man,
learning, we're already learning things on this webinar. See, everyone. So
totally.
if you can see and hear us talking about how it actually gets hot in Canada, and it looks like James is doing the conversion for us in the chat. So thank you, James. 95 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, so
So
hot.
hot. If you all can hear and see us, what I would love for you to do is find that chat at the bottom of your screen. Look at the option. It will probably default to say all panelists. Click on that, change it to say all panelists and attendees so everyone can see what you say in the chat. And then tell us where you are in the world today. And hey, if you want to tell us what the weather's like too, go for it. My name is Isa. If for any of you just arriving, I'm the webinar producer at ConvertKit. I'm in sunny San Diego, California. Today it's so sunny, not to brag, but I don't even have all my lights on. And actually, I've never done that. I've been doing this for over a year now, and this is the first day I'm like, I don't even need my lights. So pretty excited about that. So I guess we're enjoying the end of the summer here. And it looks like we're really live and people can actually see and hear us, including Andreas from the Philippines and Arnoldas. You have to tell me if I'm saying that right. From Lithuania. Arnoldas, I think you're the first person from Lithuania that I've ever personally had in a webinar. So welcome. Thank you all so much for stopping everything you're doing on a Wednesday to hang out with us live to talk about how to get more leads for your freelance business using email. That is why we're here. And it means a lot to me that you are here because I know how busy you are. And we're here from all around the world, this group. Peru, Puerto Rico, Ivan, hello, welcome. Oh my gosh. Brad, anything you want to say to everyone before we get started?
I'm really excited about this because I always say, probably people here have heard me say this, that email marketing and automations are the gold mine that freelancers are sitting on and don't even realize it. And I really mean that simply because most freelancers are used to doing everything by themselves. They're solopreneurs. They do everything from client communication to trying to get more sales to communicating with new leads to nurturing clients, everything top to bottom, inside and out, freelancers do themselves. Not because they feel like they're so good at it. Most freelancers hate doing most of the business stuff, communicating with clients, selling, all that stuff. But they don't realize that they can automate that they can build a system and a machine and use automations and the little robots to do everything else for them so that they can stick to their zone of genius, creating, designing, coding, building stuff, and helping their clients. That's what's exciting for freelancers. Trying to nurture relationships and awkwardly asking for client meetings and trying to ask for money and following up. All that stuff is for most freelancers really uncomfortable. And I'm sure everybody here can attest to that, has experienced that and don't really like that experience. So email automation is the key. It's that gold mine you're sitting on top of that you don't even realize, that you just need to just kind of scratch below the surface, and you realize that there's this whole world that bloggers and online course creators and all these people have been using it for a long time and know the benefit and the value. But freelancers, service-based consultants and freelancers, they don't realize how powerful it is. And so that's why I'm excited to share this with my audience and make sure that as many freelancers as possible understand that this is something that you should be focusing on this year.
That is such a good intro, Brad. And Cabrina in the chat just said, what is the one thing you hate doing that you wish you could automate? She's asking all of you. And I want to introduce you all to Cabrina before we jump into the slides. Cabrina works at ConvertKit as well, and she will be in the chat the whole time, asking you questions, answering your questions, chatting with you. Now, if you have a question though, that you definitely want to get answered, that you don't want to get missed in the chat because it kind of goes fast sometimes, just hover at the bottom of your screen, find the box with a Q. That's the Q&A box. If you have a question, I'd put it there. That way it won't get lost. That's where Brad and I will check at the very end, and Cabrina will be answering questions there as well. So say hi to her, ask us any questions that you have. She is wonderful. And Brad knows that if he sees any thoughts or questions that you say in the Q&A box or the chat, to just jump in and interrupt me, and we'll talk about it now. If you have anything like a burning question that's really relevant to something we're talking about, I am here for you. And I'm looking at the chat the whole time too. So I like seeing what you're thinking. It makes me very happy. So if you want to tell me what you're thinking, comments, please put them in that chat all throughout this presentation if you like. It will be about an hour, and there will be some free stuff at the end. And Niraj, I'm probably not saying that right. Please tell me how to say your name, said, we are really super excited. So yay, I love to see that. So we are going to be talking about now 5 steps to turn leads into clients using email automations. That's what this is all about. Everything that Brad just talked about. This is about email for freelancers. Just freelancers, no one else. That is what this workshop has been designed for. You're actually the first group to ever see this workshop. Actually, I made it just for you. So I'm very excited about it. My name is Isa. I'm the webinar producer at ConvertKit. We're an email service provider, so we kind of help people send automated emails. Who I really want to introduce you to, though, is Ugly Sweater Isa. This is me 8 years ago when I had a day job. We had Ugly Sweater Christmas parties. That's a thing in the US. In case any of you from Lithuania are wondering what that's about. This was me before I had my own business, before I had an email list. But I did have a dream to have my own business and to quit my job and to get my first book published. And so I started by doing exactly what you're doing right now, showing up on free trainings. And 8 years ago, it was free teleseminars, and I would get on to learn everything I needed to know about having a business. And the biggest thing that kept coming up was how to build an audience, why you needed to have an audience, why you needed to have people who were interested in what you were doing, and especially the right people, the right leads, the people who would actually want to buy what you're creating, the people who would actually want to hire you. And so I started implementing all of the things that I was learning, building an email list. It wasn't the biggest email list, but it was the right email list. And I started writing some automated emails. A year later, I quit my job. I had my own full-time 6-figure business for many years. My first book was published, and I had some pretty major clients. I didn't have a ton of clients. I had a few core clients that really funded my life for a very long time. And it all started just like this, learning something new and learning some of the strategies that can help you find those dream clients online. Because I'm an introvert. So all my clients I found online, by the way. So that is definitely the goal for you. So I'd love to know who we have in the room when it comes to what is the service that you sell as a freelancer, right? What are some of the primary things people hire you to do? I would love to know who we have in the room today. So let us know. I already see Pixel. Is that your real name? That would be pretty cool. Says is a freelancer for web development, a lot of web design and development. I love that. A realtor, a mobile app development. So a lot of developers in the room loving that. One thing we have found, we did a survey last year, is that people who were using email marketing in their business versus those who weren't using it at all earned a little bit more. So if you're not using email yet, the really good news is there's a lot of room to grow and a lot of ways that this can really help you scale your business as only one person and hopefully get more clients. And Brad, I'm curious for you in the freelance world, when was kind of the aha moment when you realized email would be really helpful for you? And have you seen email connect with the way you get leads and the way you make money?
For me, I realized email marketing and automations was something I could use in my freelance business when I created my first online course, simply as a method to or strategy to generate another income source. And that I talk to my audience a lot about building a bridge. So that's building an income bridge, some sort of asset that helps carry you through those low months in freelancing, the mountains and valleys, you know, building a course was my bridge. It was something that could help bring me across. And so then when I started using email marketing and building an audience for that side of my business, I thought, you know, this is what you do for this. But then I realized, oh, wait, I could just do this same sort of thing for freelancing. I could have lead magnets. I could have automated email sequences, and I could really create something smart to automate a level of my freelance business that I do in my online business. And now that the online business part of my business is a lot bigger than the freelancing side, it's even more important for me to have automations in my freelance business so that I don't have clients or potential leads contacting me and emails going unanswered. Things are more automated. So that was for me when I realized email marketing was a key. And I like to pass that on to my freelancing students so that they understand that they shouldn't be waiting to build an audience and to use email marketing in their own business.
And I am so glad you invited them here today. So as I mentioned, I work at ConvertKit. We're an email service provider. This is a plaque that our founder, Nathan Barry, actually handmade, and gave to us all at our retreat in McCall, Idaho last year. We're actually going again in a couple of weeks. It's on all of our desks. And I share this to let you know that at the end, I'll show you some stuff in ConvertKit, how to set up some of this stuff. It's very, very simple to do. But all of the strategies I'm going to share with you in this workshop can help you. You can use no matter what email service provider that you're using. So we're going to go through why an email list is critical to a freelance business in particular, 5 steps to turn leads into clients using email. And these 5 steps are 5 things that all of the freelancers I know making a full-time living and getting clients through email, this is what they're doing. And that's what I'm going to share with you. And then we're also going to talk a little bit about what to write in your emails to turn leads into clients and to get more referrals. So if you're wondering what to say, you're going to know that by the end of this workshop. And as a reminder, this will be about an hour, and there will be lots of free stuff at the end, only free stuff, in fact, including one particular bonus that is just for those of you who are here live. Spoiler alert, it actually is something that can help you do what Brad was talking about when it came to him making a product that could help be another stream of income for him in his freelance business. That's something we'll be giving you as well for those of you who are here live. So definitely stick around to the very end if you can. So first of all, how does email help a freelance business? Well, I think Brad has really covered a lot of that. So this might just be an overview. But here are some of the things that people tell me all the time of why they love using email as a freelancer is they get back time. And that time is so valuable because you want to spend more time doing the client work that makes you money, right? Not so much time on the follow-up and the marketing stuff. It's helped people scale. I've heard that from a lot of people that because they get back that time and they implement email automations, they're able to kind of duplicate themselves and have these things going on automatically in a way that actually helps them scale their freelance business. It helps them stay top of mind. And this is a really important one that is really easy to forget. We live in a very noisy world, and there's so much coming at us that it's actually really easy for people to forget. All of us, even if they really loved their first interaction with us. So I read a blog once of a woman who was a photographer. She took pictures of a woman's kids. They were Facebook friends. And then a little while later, that photographer saw on her Facebook feed that same woman saying, "Hey, does anyone know a photographer? I need pictures of my second kid." And she was devastated. She thought, "Oh my gosh, she must have not liked my work." And she messaged her because she couldn't take it. And she said, "Hey, like, was everything okay?" And the lady said, "Oh my gosh, I just forgot." Like, she forgot, even though she had hired her, because we just are getting so much information. So if you have some kind of email automation set up where you're checking in with people maybe once a month, it helps you stay top of mind, not only from your past clients so they remember you when they need more help or to refer you, but it also keeps you top of mind of people who might want to hire you. Just because they don't hire you the first time they hear about you does not mean they're never going to hire you. So having some kind of automated emails going out ensures that you really become known for the thing you want to be known for. And that as soon as people have that need, they're going to know your name because they have been seeing you in their inbox, for a little while. It makes a big difference. And Brad said he used to spend hours per day in inbox, and now he spends less than 15 minutes per day. He wrote that in the chat if you want to see. That's pretty incredible. It also helps you attract the right leads. You guys don't need everyone on your email list, right? You really don't. You just need the right leads. And that is something that an email list, if you do it right, and we're going to talk about how to do that, can actually help you attract the right people. You don't need to worry about anyone else. And then avoid ATM awkward. So what freelancers really love, especially about setting aside some kind of automated emails that go out so that you're keeping in touch with people, is it avoids that sense of only emailing people when you need money, only emailing people when you desperately need more clients, or you desperately need to fill your calendar. So I call that ATM awkward. So what's really great about having some kind of automated email plan in place is that you start teaching people, you start educating people, you start providing value, and in a way that helps you be established as an expert. And so that if you ever do have an opening, or you want to fill some space, or you want to reach out and see if anyone needs you, they don't feel like you only talk to them when you need money. They feel like you're someone who they know, who adds value all the time. And so you really build more solid relationships with your current clients and your potential clients. So we are going to jump in now to the 5 steps. Are you ready? Step 1, this is a big one, is research. So what you'll want to do is begin to list your new clients' biggest problems and frustrations. So I really want to encourage you to think about your brand new clients before someone works with you, or just before they hire you. What are their problems? What are their frustrations that bring them to you? Also, the ones that maybe are tangential to what you do. So maybe that problem and frustration isn't exactly what you do, but it is definitely a problem and frustration that they're going to have around the same time. You'll see why you want to know all of the problems and frustrations in step 2. Right now, I just want you to, and you can even brainstorm this right now. What are some of the big problems and frustrations your new clients have? You can share that with us in the chat if you want to. If you don't know this, you can do some research. So if you haven't already worked with enough people to know exactly what those problems or frustrations are, these are some of my favorite things you can do to start to get a sense of the real pain points people have when they need to hire someone like you. My favorite is the first one phone call. I have heard so many people tell me that one phone call changed their whole marketing strategy. Just getting on the phone with one person. So you could do this with a past client and have them go back in time and remind you what they were frustrated with when they hired you. Or you can talk to someone who's in that space right now and just listen and write notes and notice the exact language they use. Notice all the problems that they are having. Just absorb all of them. This is a crucial first step that a lot of people kind of skip. And it's really what makes all the other steps successful. So you don't want to skip this one. Then step 2 is to create a lead magnet to solve just one of those problems. So this is how you're going to get new leads online, and how you're going to get more people on that email list who can eventually become clients. You're going to create something for free to solve one of those problems. So I want you to start to think about, what could you give away to serve a potential client? And so to give you an example, and the reason why I wanted you to think about all of their problems, is one of our creators, Ashley Ann, she has many businesses. One of them is an event design business for weddings. And one of her most popular lead magnets is actually a wedding dress guide. Now, nothing about her business helps people with the wedding dress, but she knows that when brides are looking to hire an event designer, it's also the same time they're looking for their dress. And that is why she developed that lead magnet, and it has been a very, very successful one for her. So this can be anything. You just want to be thinking about, what can you give away that you could serve a potential client with? Maybe it's even kind of 10% of what you do, or 10% of a product you have, giving that kind of free sample if you're able to do something like that. So this is how you're going to get new leads. And you can put it in any format you want. A checklist is a really nice one because it's something you can create quickly. And I want to encourage you to create this quickly. Keep it simple. It's not about having a lot of information. It's just about having the value. And Arnolda's asked a good question. Is offering a discount better than a freebie? I love that question, because I can honestly say you couldn't say one thing is better than another until you did the research. until you know who is your potential client and what is your service. So it's really about what makes sense for you. And hey, if you want to test it out, try both and see what happens. That's the only way to really know, right? You could say, you could guess, but the only way to really know is to test things. And people in freelance businesses and doing things online are always testing things because you can't know until you try it out. But these are some of the things I've seen work really, really well. And I encourage you to start with something. Start with the thing that would be the easiest for you to implement, the easiest for you to create. You can always iterate from there. This is another example from Crystal at magnificentmouthfuls.com.au in Australia. So she has a freelance business where she decorates cakes, but she also does some things for her local community. So she has winning a $25 gift voucher. So she does a drawing once a month, which I thought was really interesting. So if your service-based business has anything to do with location, you could do something like that. Or if you have something that you think you could give away every month or something like that, that's another option as well. The key, of course, is making sure it's really, really relevant to who your potential clients are. You don't need to worry about anyone else. This is Ashley Ann, who I mentioned, and this is how she does it. I really thought it was super interesting that you can see in the last sentence of this testimonial, people even have to give her an email address to see her prices. So she has turned her pricing guide into a lead magnet. So she puts her pricing guide into a PDF instead of having it on her website. And so instead of just clicking to see prices on her website, they enter their email, and then that PDF guide of her prices gets sent to them. And if you're wondering how that all works, you'll know exactly how to set something like that up in just a couple minutes. And Brad said in the chat, I love this. You want your leads to say, oh my gosh, I need this, in all caps. And that's why that research is so important. The only way you're going to know what that is if you really listen and research and find out what are the big pain points that people are telling you and how can you solve a problem right away for them. Give them some kind of quick win through something simple. Keep it simple. You don't need to write a 25, 30, 100-page ebook. This can be a checklist. Just make sure it's valuable and that it really solves a pain point that they're having. Save them time or save them money, and you will be off to a great start. Brad, any examples of lead magnets for freelancers that you've seen work really well?
I really like the pricing idea because a lot of, and this is just one, but it popped in my head as you shared that. A lot of freelancers will ask in my courses in the community and everything, should I publish my pricing on my portfolio? And a lot of people ask that because they worry if I share this, is a competitor freelancer going to want to undercut my pricing, or is it going to scare away a client? And it really, my answer to that is, well, it depends, on your positioning and what you're offering. But what I really like about this as a lead magnet is some clients want to know your price and are shopping around, and that's fair. You should be aware of that. But if you can capture them as a lead, because here's where it's going to be different. If you're publishing your prices, let's say freelancer A and freelancer B, let's call you freelancer B, both of you are publishing your prices. This other person has a better price than you. If someone's discount shopping, they're going to go with you. But if you're being compared to freelancer A and your lead downloads your pricing package and gives you their name and email, where you're going to be different is now you have a lead and you can follow up with them. You can send them an email sequence that adds even more value. So you might say when they download the pricing guide, say, hey, thanks for downloading the pricing guide. If you have any questions, give me a call. Here's my Calendly link to schedule a quick call, or put your personal phone number up there to say, text me anytime. I'll answer your questions as soon as I can. But in the meantime, I found this really interesting article that I think you'd find, valuable when shopping around, because that they're shopping around, that they're discount shopping because they're downloading your pricing guide. So you can already imagine where they are in their head. They're looking around, they're finding a good price. Here's something you might want to keep in mind when you're shopping around for a freelancer. And then maybe you wrote an article, maybe even better, you filmed a video. And they get to now see your face, and they get to see that you're friendly and you're a human and you're nice. And you can use that as a further, it's a good way to make that person want to work with you more. They relate to you more versus the other person who maybe is 10% cheaper, but they saw your face. They saw what you're passionate about. They saw that you're friendly. They saw that you added value, and you have them as a lead. So you've got that connection unless they unsubscribe and they don't want to be a part of your list. So that to me is a really, really powerful and obvious lead magnet that everyone can use without having to think about, okay, what's my really creative lead magnet? What's my checklist? What's my ebook? What's my, my guide? Like, start with the pricing. Everyone has a price. Everyone has packages. I always encourage my freelancing students to package their services. Don't just say I'm $100 an hour. Say, to do this service, it costs around this much, and here are the separate packages. So use that as your lead magnet. So that would be my on the spot. This is a really good idea that everyone can implement instantly. Design a nice little PDF, have it as a download in ConvertKit, and bam, you're done. So that for me is a good one. Outside of that, if you wanted to take it further, if you know your audience, if you know your clients, the people that you're working with, let's say I like to use the law firm example. So if you are an SEO, strategist and your clients are law firms or lawyers, then you can have a 10-part checklist for, how to improve your on-page SEO to get more organic traffic to your law firm website. And then you just have the PDF, enter your name and email, and then you send them that PDF. Something as simple as that. It depends on your audience and the problem you're solving. That's the important key as well. Yeah. You need to know who you're helping and what that problem is. And it needs to be a little piece of what you do. And the more generous you are with your free lead magnet, the more indebted they're going to feel to you.
Yes, that rule of reciprocity. The more you give, the more they're going to want to hire you and give back to you. I'm obsessed with Brad's idea of giving the pricing guide and then having follow-up emails where you teach them how to hire someone like you, what mistakes to avoid when they're looking to hire a web developer. And especially if you're brave enough, a video, forget about it. That they're going to want to hire you. They feel like they know you, and you're establishing yourself as an expert without ever hard selling, right? You're never just telling them, hey, here's why you should hire me. You're just providing value. You're helping. And what that does is it sets you up as the expert. They're going to want to hire you because you really know what you're talking about, because you're telling them what mistakes people make when hiring a developer, right? You want to really make that clear. I love that idea. Oh my gosh. So then once you have that lead magnet, whether it's a checklist to help someone solve a problem or that pricing guide idea that we're all getting pretty excited about, you can then share it. Do it by doing any of these things here. My favorite one is emailing it to 100 people you know personally. So one-to-one, and not necessarily copying and pasting the same exact message, but tweaking each one to really connect with a person, asking if they want to see what you do, they can click here and download the pricing guide, or let them know that, hey, if they ever know anyone looking for this, they can give them this. So you want to be thinking about that as your lead magnet too, that making it shareable can be really helpful. So maybe it's a pricing guide with like one tip or something that makes it even more shareable. But also it can really lay out what it is that you do. So you can put it at the bottom of your email signature, blog or guest blog, and then have that lead magnet partnering with people your ideal clients love. And then of course, posting on social media, live streaming. Again, in your live streams, you'd be answering questions or solving problems people have, and then letting them know where they can go to get your lead magnet. So you're going to want to use your research there to know what topics to live stream about. I know that can sound scary if you're not a video person. You don't have to do that, but it works really well. We are in the age of video right now, and people are really, really desperate to connect with people visually and really see who they are. And it just builds that trust. And really can help make you stand out. So these are some ways to help there. Step number 3 is you'll want to then write some welcome emails, just like Brad is talking about, right? You're going to get them on your list by sharing some kind of free value or sharing your pricing guide so they can really see all of the options. But you don't want to leave it at that. You want to follow up. That's the whole point of getting them on your email list. They're now leads. And you want to follow up with those leads, and you don't want to have to individually follow up. that's not what we want. We want to give you more time. And that's what welcome emails do. You create an automated welcome sequence so that no matter what day or time someone joins your email list, they're going to get followed up by you, even if you're not paying attention at all to your email list. That is what's amazing about automated emails. So what you want to think about with your welcome emails is, what is the next step a lead needs to take to become a client? And of course, how can you educate them before you get them to that point? So here is an example of what welcome emails could look like, what a welcome series could look like. You can do whatever you want. It really depends on your business and what makes sense for you. But I wanted to give you an example. So in your first email, you could ask them how they liked the lead magnet and introduce yourself. In email 2, I would teach something, just like Brad was saying, add value, help them hire who they're trying to hire. Don't try to sell yourself, next, just add value, teach something. Email 3, then maybe you teach something and then also mention someone you've helped, right? And how you helped them, and have advice in there for that person. So they're getting something out of the case study, even if they don't hire you. Then I'd go back to just teaching. And then email 5, teach something again. And again, teaching doesn't mean you need to write paragraphs and paragraphs of a lesson. It could be 3 sentences, right? Where you're adding value, you're giving them a tip, something they can use. And then the call to action. That's why you want to be thinking about what that next step is, because you want your welcome series to have a purpose and really make it clear how they can work with you. And so you want to be very clear in email 5 how to do that. In email 1, I would even put it in the PS, right? Like, PS, here's where you can, get on a call or take that next step. But you want to be really specific in email 5 and do a full call to action, because they've read all your emails. They've read to email 5. They are interested. Very interested. And I'd say these emails could go out once a day for 5 days. You could do. You wouldn't have to worry so much about people feeling like you're emailing them too much, because they're most interested right now, right? If they've downloaded your lead magnet, they're never going to be more excited about you or interested in you as they are in this moment. So you will really want to focus on that. And then I have that Calendly call just in case that's the first action for you, right? So you just want to be thinking about, what is that for you? What's the next step for them to hire you, right? If you have a product, the next step is them buying that product, right? If you do consultation calls first, it's going to be scheduling a call on something like Calendly. Maybe you need to kind of filter out first. So maybe the next step is for them to fill out a type form survey where you ask them a couple questions to make sure they have the budget for you, to make sure they're the right kind of client. And then you can schedule a call with them if you feel like they're a good fit. So whatever it is for you, this is how your welcome series might end. And here's an example of some teaching. If you're wondering, well, what do I teach again as a freelancer exactly? This is just an example of Crystal, who again, her people hire her to make and decorate cakes for them. And she did kind of a blog style email that says, what's that I hear you ask? Why do cakes cost so much? And so she goes through why a cake costs what it does, how much goes into it. And it's just educational. She doesn't say, here's why you should spend this much money on me. Here's my prices. She's just educating people on why cakes cost what they do. So now they're more informed as they think about who they're going to hire, and if they're going to hire someone to make a cake, or if they're just going to buy one. What she's also doing is showing how special a custom cake is. It's not just something in a store. A lot goes into it. So as you're thinking about what can you teach, think about what you can share that will help them, and also really showcase your knowledge and showcase the true value of what you provide, because someone who wants to hire you, they may not really totally understand how valuable what it is that you do really is and what all goes into it. So the more you teach them, the more you help them make a good decision. I also like to remind people that a welcome series can be one email. One automated email can be so powerful. That's how I started. My first automated email was one automated email from a lead magnet. And I wrote one in particular 6 years ago. And 2 months ago, someone got that welcome email because they got my lead magnet. And then they replied to that one welcome email and ordered 100 copies of my book. And I wrote that email 6 years ago. I'm not even actively doing anything with that business right now. I just let those emails run because they're running, right? So one email is enough. I don't want you to get overwhelmed by the 5. That's just a way you can break it up. Maybe something to shoot for eventually, but writing just one welcome email where you kind of take everything we talked about and just fit it in one email can be a fantastic start and will put you way ahead of a lot of people just by doing that. So step 4 is you want to think about writing an education sequence. And you've heard us teasing this kind of all throughout the workshop, right? A lot of those benefits, avoiding the forget factor where people will forget about you, staying top of mind, adding value so you're not only talking to them when you need money. That's what this part is all about. Writing an education sequence that you can send out to people and kind of set it up once and then let it run. So to make this, you first want to start thinking about what are some other problems that you could solve. So again, you see why step 1 is research, because that research and thinking about all of the problems and pain points your potential clients have, it will help you do everything else. So what are some other problems that you could solve for people, even if they don't hire you, right? What are things that you know that you could help people with based on where they are when they're your potential client or maybe even current client? This is what keeps you top of mind. So an automated education sequence, or you can think of it as like an automated newsletter. So this is something that comes after the welcome series. This is maybe education. Maybe it's a case study, right? Maybe it's you alternate whatever you want it to be. The key is that it's solving people's problems, it's adding value, whether or not they hire you, and it's keeping you in their inbox, whether or not they hire you, so that they don't forget about you and you become the person they rely on and they think of anytime they think of your particular service. And then I encourage you to find the frequency that works for you. So for example, I have an automated newsletter and education sequence that I create in big batches. So I sit down, I write a bunch of emails, and then they're scheduled to go out and someone will get them no matter when they join my email list. I have one that goes out once a week. They're pretty short, and that's so I can stay in touch with people so that when I have my next book ready for people to buy, they're not just like, wait, who are you? Why are you in my inbox now? Just because you have a book published. So I do something once a week, but that's just me. You can do whatever frequency works for you. You could do once a month, I think. If you just did that, write 12 educational emails, so you don't have to write them all at once, right? And have some kind of education sequence where you really stay in touch with someone over the course of a year can be really valuable. Maybe it's a frequency that's a little all over the place in the beginning as you try to figure it out. That's okay too. Find the one that works for you. It really does vary depending on your business and what makes the most sense. But don't be scared to email people too much. Emailing someone every day might be a little much, but emailing someone once a week if you're adding value isn't too much, because again, what's great about email is they have said they want to be on your email list, right? And if they didn't want them, they could leave. So you can feel really confident that whatever frequency you do share, those are going to be the people who want to hear from you and who are going to be the really great leads and the people who will refer you. So that's how I always think of my email list whenever I'm emailing them, once a week or doing things. I'm like, oh, well, everyone liked this. I always remind myself, wait, the right people will like this because this is how I do things. And I only want to have people who actually want to hear from me, right? Those are the only people who would hire me or who would buy my books anyway. So I don't need to worry about anyone else. So you want to be thinking about that. So ideas for what to write. I told you I would share this with you. So if you're thinking, okay, education sequence, I'm kind of getting this idea, kind of keep in touch with people, maybe once a week, every other week, once a month. What do I write, right? Well, the first thing, of course, is going to come from all of that research. But here are some more ideas. So sharing your story of how you started this freelance business, why you became a freelancer, how you learned everything you've learned about your craft, about your service, whatever it is. And this doesn't have to be one email. Something I've been seeing a lot lately that I'm kind of obsessed with is people will tell a story in an email and they'll use a cliffhanger. They'll tell a part of the story, and then at the end they'll say, and then this happened next. Look out for email tomorrow, and I'll tell you this. So you could take your starter story, right, and break it up into, you could have 5 or 6 emails just in your own story. You can keep the emails really short, use cliffhangers. People actually do want to know who you are in relation to what you do, of course. You don't want to tell your whole life story, but tell them how it is you started this and what inspired you to do this and what you really focus on, what really makes you different and why you care about it so much. And tell that story in a way that also, helps them really learn more about what it means to hire a really good person in your field. Also think about teaching everything you know. Everything you know about what you do, you could begin to teach it. And some people get scared of this, like, oh, isn't that what they hire me to do? But I have seen time and time again, people who teach and share everything they know, and they're the people who everyone wants to hire, even though they give a lot for free, because they're building trust. People see that they're an expert, that they really know what they're talking about. And these people don't have to ever be weird or icky or gross or hard sell, because people are coming to them because they already see they're experts and they're receiving so much value that rule of reciprocity, like, we just want to give it back when we've been given a lot of things. So you also want to solve problems. That's why that research comes in over and over again, and ask people questions. So we talked about maybe doing one phone call, but throughout your life, as you're dealing with clients, you'll kind of just start to turn on a different part of your brain and really ask questions and start to think about what problems people have that you could solve with a quick email. With just some information that you have learned over the years. A lot of the stuff feels really obvious to you because you're an expert at what you do, or you wouldn't be doing it. You wouldn't have a freelance business if you weren't really good at what you do. And so I know a lot of what it feels obvious. You feel like, what could I teach? A lot. Remember that most people don't know what you know, and everything you know is a potential email. You can also think about what you are obsessed with in relation to your craft, in relation to your service. What things do you get angry about? Which mistakes do you see people make that you're like, what do you get obsessed with positively when you're like, this person's doing it well, or this is what a good website looks like and why? What are the things that you're obsessed with related to your business? That will come through, that obsession, that passion, and that usually makes a really good email, makes it easy to write, and it will really allow people to get a sense of how well you know your stuff, because you're also obsessed with it. I want people who are obsessed with what they do when I hire them. I love that. So if you show them that this is your life, you're going to really stick out in their mind. You can also tell customer stories. Share testimonials, reviews, and case studies. And I really encourage you here, when you do this, you don't want it to just look like a sales brochure of testimonials. You want to really tell a mini story in a way that they could learn something from that person's story, whether or not they hired you. So again, this education sequence, when you're writing emails, these emails could work for someone who has hired you or hasn't hired you. So you really want to think about the value that you're providing. And then if people ever email you for a question, you might get this a lot. When someone asks you for advice or they have one quick question, whether they're a client or not, if you see a question that you think a lot of people would love the answer to, email them back your answer. And then in that email, ask their permission if you could share their question and your answer in an email. And your emails can become automated educational emails, kind of like an advice column where you can open it and say, this person asked me this, and here was my answer. So you give people behind the scenes, you show your expertise, and then again, you're scaling yourself. You're answering this question for a bunch of people that you often get. And when you email that person, you can ask them also if they want to remain anonymous. You don't even have to use their name, or you can. Just be really clear about that. Ask them first. This is something that some of your emails you could write, they'll be written for you. You could even, as I'm saying this, I'm realizing you could go back in your emails and find places where you've answered people's questions and just email them and say, hey, I'm writing an email newsletter. I wanted to use this. Is that cool? So I love that. Then you can also link to content wherever you are online. So if you've ever written a blog post or been interviewed on a podcast or been in a YouTube video or anything you have done online, that can be an email too. You can remind people, hey, here you can check out this thing that I did here, or this thing that I did here. Just because someone's on your email list does not mean they know everything about you or that they've seen everything you've ever created online. And even those who have seen some of it kind of love reminders. Some of the people I have am on their email list, some of my favorite people. I'll get a blog, maybe a reference to a blog post that I've already read of theirs in an email. And I actually go and read it again because I wanted a refresher, because I love them so much. And I'm so glad they brought it to my attention, because we don't often think to like go find a website or go find a thing very often. That's why email is so helpful, because it can really remind people and direct people. And then when in doubt, just write to a friend. So your emails do not need to be salesy. They do not need to sound like a professional website, third person party talking. It should sound like you talking to one person, you talking to a friend. That is what we see works really, really well right now, is actually making your email one person to one person, because that's what it actually is. Even though that one email might go out to a lot of people over time, that it's still being read by one person. So you really want to keep that in mind too. And then step 5 would be writing an onboarding sequence. And again, that word sequence can be one email. So don't get overwhelmed by that. This is something you could do later, but I wanted to share it with you because it's something I've heard people find very successful in not only onboarding clients, but also getting more clients and getting more leads, because of the way this can help you get referrals. So think about what emails do you write over and over again when it comes to clients hiring you. When they hire you, what are those emails you're constantly saying to get them started and get them in the process? You could turn those into an onboarding sequence where that landing page, where they might get a pricing guide, you might create another landing page that says, here, get your intro packet that you just send to people once they hire you. Then they'll get automated emails sending them maybe the intro packet with some kind of online questions. You can get all the information you need from them to begin the service. Then email 2, maybe share successful case studies that also are like subtly showing them what makes a great client, how to be a great client, and how to really get the most out of the service. Email 3, maybe you're linking to another follow-up call if that's something you do. And then what I really love is you can set delays in these emails where you can say, okay, this next email, I want it to come a month later or 2 months later, depending on how your service kind of timeline looks, and have an automated email that asks them, for example, hey, how did you like the service? What are the results like? And that's automatically going out, timed. You don't have to even think about it. And then they'll reply to you and let you know. You can also then ask for a referral. So what I would do is just find out how the results went. And then if they email back and they're really happy, then personally ask them, oh my gosh, that's so great. Do you know one person who might need this result too? And then see if they might introduce you or maybe share your lead magnet. And then email 4, long after service, whatever timeline again makes sense for your freelance business. Ask them, hey, how's it going? Do you need anything else? This comes from one of our creators and freelancers, Brittany Berger, who said this one sentence email, that automated email that she sends out, has gotten her clients, for our repeat clients, I should say, because people will be like, oh yeah, I do need something. Again, you don't ever want to rely on people to remember you, and you don't want to rely on them to hire you again. Even if they loved you, right? We have so much going on in our lives. And so you want to be the one to follow up. And this one sentence automated email can do that for you. So you might be wondering now, okay, how do you do this? How do you set up these automated emails and these landing pages so that they run for you and run without you on any day of the week? That is what I'm going to show you next. So no matter which automated sequence or which thing you think about starting with, this is how you can set it up. So I'm going to share my screen now, and this is my ConvertKit demo account. And I want to show you how to do this. So I'm going to start by clicking on automations. This is where you can plan out your emails and kind of create that journey for that lead that we just talked about. So I'm going to start by clicking new automation. And we're going to start this automation by creating the automation and creating a new form. So you could make a form that lives on your website, or you could make a landing page that you could link to on your website, or you could just start sharing right away. So I'm going to start with a landing page because it's something you can start doing right away. And you can choose any of these templates. I like this one on the left personally because at the top, it has a place to add your picture, which may sound scary to some people, but I have been hearing over and over again that People want to see people's faces tied to a business. I even saw a study related to a freelancing website that said the freelancers who had a nice professional picture were more likely to be hired. So that's a little tip for all of you. Even if you're camera shy, it really can help. So think about something like that. It really can help build that trust. So then you'll just start clicking and typing. You don't need to know CSS or coding or any of that to make a landing page. So this might be your pricing guide, right? And you might hear, say something here. Maybe you put the range if you want to give people a sense of what your prices are, so you only attract the right leads who have the kind of budget. You could do that. If you are giving a checklist of some kind, you're going to let them know, just like, this will help you, right? Really be clear and mention those pain points too in your research on the landing page. Are you struggling with this? Here I have this free thing that will help you do this. That is what you really want to communicate here. And then you can change this word subscribe, which I highly recommend depending on what you're getting. So maybe it's see the prices, or maybe it's get the checklist. Whatever it is, make it really actionable. And you can change all the colors here. So if I click on the button, I can change the button color. So if you have branding colors, you can input them here, or you can pick colors that work for you. You can also change the background color using this magic wand. You can even upload a picture to the background. So I have a picture of my table that I took once that I really loved. So you can make any picture the background as well. And then when it comes to delivering the free thing that you promise, you just click on this envelope, click incentive email, and upload your PDF right here. So you click download, you choose a file. I'm just going to choose this checklist I have here, but this might be your pricing guide, right? You could upload that here, and then you'll click edit email contents. And this is the email that will automatically go out to anyone who puts in their email on this landing page that you've created. So the subject line, it will confirm their subscription, but you can change this, right, to something like download the pricing guide. And then you can change the text in this button here, right? Get the pricing guide. And when they click on that button, whatever you uploaded before will automatically start downloading on their computer. If you want your pricing guide to live on kind of a private website, you could do that too, and just put the URL here. And then when they click on the button, they would be automatically redirected to that website. So if you have a video maybe that you're giving away that lives on a website, you can do that too. So either way, you can deliver it with this email and with this kind of delivery system. And again, automatic, just runs for you. And so I'm going to save that. And then when I click share here, it's going to give me the link. This landing page is now live. So I'm going to copy this link and I'm going to open a new tab and paste it so you can see what this looks like. This landing page is now live. So this link up here, I could copy and paste to my friends and family, to people I know in email. I could share it on social media. I could start giving this away, this free thing, to everyone I know, and all they have to do is enter their email address and they'll get whatever free thing that I want them to get. This also works really well for client onboarding, right? If someone's hired you, right, that process might happen at some point one-to-one. In one email, you can send them a link to this and say, fill this out, and then that will get them going on whatever sequence you want. And it could say something like, get the intro packet or something. And you could start them on their onboarding journey this way too. Just an option. There's lots of ways to do that. But that's the entry point. Landing page or form, somewhere where someone's going to enter their email and tell you they want your thing, and that will make them a lead. Then you want to create those follow-up emails we talked about. Welcome series, onboarding sequence, automated newsletter, that kind of thing. So what you'd want to do is add an email sequence right here. And I'm going to create a new one. So we'll just call it a freelancer welcome series. And I'm going to add an action to create that. So freelancer welcome series, and was supposed to click on it and I forgot, add action, there it is. And then when you click on that, you can start editing. So maybe your welcome series is, maybe you're going to start with 3 emails. So we're just going to add 2 more emails here. This top one is going to be email 1. And you can see it defaults to send 1 day after subscription on any day of the week. So if for some reason with your business type, you're like, I don't want to email people on Saturdays and Sundays, you could uncheck those days. 1 day after they subscribe can work really well. If their first day, they're going to get that automated email with a free thing. And then when you're ready, you change this to published. That's how you know it's ready to go. And then this is that first welcome email, right? So maybe you're asking them how they liked the lead magnet. If you gave away a checklist, this is where you're introing yourself. Maybe you're sharing a case study initially. All of those things we talked about, right? You're going to write like you write to one person, just like this. And then the second email, same thing. You'll change it to published when you're ready. You can leave it to send one day after email, after the last email. So that's what ensures that if someone joins your email list today on a Wednesday, they would get this welcome email on Thursday, right? And then they would get this second email on a Friday. And someone who joins later, their days would be different, but they're always getting it in the right order and at the right frequency. And so again, here you're doing whatever follow-up, maybe you're teaching and doing some education here. And then same thing, next email, right like this. And if we were talking about an onboarding sequence, I told you could add different delays. So if you were adding an email that you wanted to come way later, right, this could be 30 days. Right after that last email. So that way you can really pace how you want your emails to go. So this is a really great way to create a welcome series so that people can get to know you. And then again, remember in this last email in your welcome series, have the action step where they can hire you. It is really that simple. That is it. People join your landing page and then they start to get these automated emails for you that you only have to write one time, and then they start working for you. If you were like me, they might even work for you for 6 years and someone might hire you from that. So as a way to help you do some of this and not just take our word for it, we have some free stuff for you. So you can try this for yourself. So the first, as you can see here, is a free month of ConvertKit. Now this button is an image, by the way. So if you click on it, nothing will happen. But what you'll want to do is go to convertkit.com/Brad88. Just open up a new tab in your browser, type that in, and you will be able to get a free month of ConvertKit as a thank you for being on this workshop. A free month is not something you can just get on our website. It is very special for people like you and workshops like this because you just hung out with us for an hour and that's kind of a big deal. And you're someone who shows up. You're exactly the kind of creator we're for. So if you go to convertkit.com/Brad88, it will walk you through setting up your ConvertKit account and giving you a free month. And this link is temporary, by the way. Brad88 is for today, August 8th. So this link will expire. So this is just special for this workshop. So when you go to convertkit.com/Brad88, once you set up your account, you will then get an automatic email separately with some free bonuses. And it will include this. So the first thing is this ebook Authority, written by our founder, Nathan Barry. So our software was developed by someone who also was an online creator. And so in this book, he talks through everything he knows about what it means to really establish authority, right? Be an expert and sell and get people to hire you through teaching. You'll hear that, you heard that a lot in this workshop because it's something that works really well, serving people and teaching instead of hard selling. So you will get the ebook, the audiobook, and case studies of people who have made 6 figures online. And then you also will get this, which is really, really, really cool. Brad made a funnel for you. He made an automation for you. And what happens is in this email you'll get with all the bonuses, there'll be a link. You'll click on that link, you'll see this funnel, and then you'll click to copy it into your ConvertKit account. And this will then already be in your ConvertKit account. And all you have to do is fill in the blanks. And if you're wondering, how do I do that? What does all of this mean? Brad filmed a video for you as well that you will get, he will walk you through exactly what this means. It's kind of like the next stage of this workshop. So I'd say this is the advanced course that Brad is giving you, and you will get that for free as well. Brad, anything else you want to say about this bonus?
Sorry, I was just typing there and yeah, I was caught me off guard. Sorry. I'm super excited about this. I'm like in the chat box, like excited about my own bonus.
I love it. You should be. It's awesome.
I just thought a big part of when people join a new software, they get overwhelmed because there's so many different things. There's so many features. There's so many things to do. And actually Alea is here. Alea is my assistant, and we work together to make sure my business runs smoothly. And she had a really great little tidbit. She said in one of my webinars, she said, a free trial should actually make you money, or at least you should get direct value from it. So don't use a free trial just to play around with the bells and whistles and the features and to see if you even like the software. The free trial should be working for you and actually making something happen. It should be saving you time. It should be making you money. It should be making you sales, getting you leads. It should be directly valuable. And so I thought, okay, I don't want people to sign up for this free trial and then just play around and be like, oh, what are automations? Or, oh, what's a tag? Or, forms. Well, maybe I'll just play with some colors. And then all of a sudden they have like 6 days left and they go, oh no, ConvertKit's not worth it for me. I quit. I don't want that, because that's a waste of everyone's time and nobody wants that. What I want for you is to sign up today and get this freelance funnel. You guys did this awesome thing where you could literally just hit install into my ConvertKit account, and the forms are created, the sequences are created, everything's just automatically input. So I spent like 3 hours putting this together and then filming like a 30-minute video showing you exactly what it is, how to use it, how to tweak it, how to change all of the different things, so that within the first 1 hour of signing up, you could already have a funnel, you could already have your form, change a few colors, and then change some words. And then you already have your first lead magnet set up, and you already have your sequences scheduled and put in place, so that you can literally put it on your portfolio, put it on your Facebook page, share it with some friends, some past clients, some future clients, and get it working for you, so that by day 25, when you're wondering, should I stay as a ConvertKit customer, you'll go, hell yes, because if I turn this off, then that means I no longer have automations. I no longer have those subscribers getting automatic stuff. I don't have all of this working for me automatically. I want you to start getting value from it within 6 hours. I don't want you getting the value at day 25 and then panicking. I want it to be working for you right away. So I'm excited about this. And I think that this is one of those things that gets that out of the way so that you could actually get it working for you right away.
Love that. This is such a good bonus. I mean, it's one of my favorites ever. And I see a couple questions coming in that I'm going to address as well. But I want to also tell you about the live only bonus. So if you go to convertkit.com/Brad88, and for any of you having trouble with that, try www.first, and that should get you there. I just tested that myself and it worked good. So make sure you type in www.convertkit.com/Brad88, and that should get you there. So once you set up your account, you will see an automated email sometime today with all these bonuses. And if you've signed up live, if you sign up before this workshop ends, you will also get this special bonus. It is a $200 masterclass called Product to Profit, taught by people who have made $2 million online. And they go through exactly how they did it. And Paul Jarvis, who's one of the teachers of this, he is a freelancer and teaches freelancers. So he's got a lot of that content in here. And if you're also curious about this idea of creating a product around your knowledge, a digital product that could be another income stream for you. I've heard a lot of freelancers really have had a lot of success with this, because freelance, right? There's some months that are one way and some months that are another. Having that kind of steady income can be very helpful, or just another stream. You will really like module 2 and 3, how to find a product for you and then build and write it. And what I love most about this course, by the way, is each module's only 20 to 30 minutes, and it's really actionable stuff. So it's not one of those courses that you're like, oh, I get it for free, and oh my gosh, 6 hours of my life to do this? I'm never gonna do this. This is something you can actually get through very, very quickly and get a lot of information about what it takes to get leads online, to get clients online. Module 1, growing your audience, that is actually taught by Paul, who grows his audience to get leads. So you will get a lot of great information about how to share your lead magnet, how to keep getting more leads into your email list. And Brad said also Paul is Canadian. Yay, Canadians. Awesome. So these are all the things. It is $307 worth of stuff. And you will get it for free by going to convertkit.com/Brad88. And if you're already a customer, I saw some of you already are a customer, loving it. You will also get these bonuses too. As long as you signed up for this webinar with the same email address as your ConvertKit account, we have an automation to make sure you get all of these. But for any of you, if you wake up tomorrow morning and you're like, hey, I signed up for ConvertKit, or I'm already a ConvertKit customer. Where is that email with all of the bonuses Isa talked about? If for some reason it doesn't make it to you, just email help@convertkit.com. Cabrina will post that in the chat. Help@convertkit.com. Tell them that you were on the live webinar with Isa and Brad. Mention Brad's name, and they'll know who you are. And they'll know exactly what bonuses you're supposed to get, and they will get them to you. So do not worry, we'll definitely get you those bonuses. And all of this, again, is free as a thank you for coming to this workshop, and hopefully giving you some tools to start to put it in action, because that is the most important thing. That is where things start to change, is when you make that first landing page, you write that one automated email. And that's what I would encourage you to make your first goal. If you don't have any of this going yet, is your first goal should be to write one welcome email as your first step. So for any of you going to convertkit.com/Brad, I see a lot of you already signed up. You just did this. You knew exactly what to do. So awesome. If you're just starting out or you're not sure what all this means, I want to show you how to set up your free month. It'll ask you a question. It'll ask if you're migrating or brand new. So migrating from another provider, if you already have an email list, you're migrating from another provider. Your email list lives somewhere, right? If you don't have an email list, you're going to click brand new, and it will ask you a couple questions from there. Just answer to the best of your ability. If you're not sure what to answer, whatever you pick won't mess anything up. This just helps us really get relevant information to you when it comes to helping you set up your account based on where you're at when it comes to email. But once you enter your email and create your password and click get started, that's what will ignite your bonuses and ignite your free month. So I encourage you to set a reminder 29 days from now to remind yourself of when this free month ends, so you can do whatever you need to do to keep your account running or to cancel it, depending on what is going to be right for you. But I want to especially remind you to set aside time this month, this week, to start these steps, to do the research, to make your lead magnet, to write just one automated email. That would be my challenge to you. That don't let this 29 days end without putting at least one automated email into place, whichever one makes the most sense for you and your business. So maybe it's your first welcome email, or maybe you want to start with your first onboarding email, whatever seems the best for you. And really set it in your calendar, just like you did for this workshop. I mean, you already know how to do this. You showed up, you watched a workshop on a Wednesday. That makes you pretty awesome. So keep doing that and show up for yourself as well, and really make this pay off by taking the action and creating it and then seeing what happens. So I know some of you are asking how much ConvertKit is. You can see it's $29, the value of your free month. So it's $29 a month for up to 1,000 subscribers. And then it goes up from there depending on how big your list is. So that's kind of how that works. If you do want to stay on after your free month, that would be pretty awesome, but no pressure. But you can cancel at any time is how that works. So it's month to month. And this is a quote from Susie, one of our creators, that I read in a blog post that she wrote, and I was like, this is awesome. Can I use this in a webinar? And she said, yes. So this was something that she was just saying in a blog post when she was telling people about email. So her list was worth $13,000 just from 1 year. And so I liked the way she said this, because it always reminds me that that's really the goal, is that if you're, for any software, right, that you use for freelance business, is okay, if you're paying $29 a month for something like this, how you want to think about it is, how am I using this to make at least $29 a month, right? If you could get one client a month from your email list, would that be worth it? And that's how you want to start to think about this. And for some people, the $29 a month, it motivates them, like, okay, I need to do this, right? I'm paying for it. And let's really finally put this into practice in my business, and to really make this a focus. And it will take some time initially, right? Like any new software, you're going to want to learn it. You're going to want to set up the strategy that's going to work best for you. I want to encourage you to make that a priority, and know that once you do it once, you never have to do it again. And it runs for you. And once you write that email once, it starts working for you for as long as you want it to. So I like to remind everyone of that too. Like my one email still works for me 6 years later, which is honestly crazy even to me. And these are some of the other reasons why people stay on with ConvertKit, why they switch to ConvertKit, why they start with ConvertKit, because I get a lot of questions about that too, because there's a lot of email service providers. We're not the only one. And so I asked our creators, why they chose us. And I'm always reading their blogs when they talk about us. And I like to know, like, why do people choose us? And these are the reasons I hear most of all. And we are not for everybody. We're really, especially for creators, freelancers, people who are doing something that they personally make or they personally do that means a lot to them. And it's just them and maybe an assistant, maybe a little small team, but it's really, really someone who's creating it themselves and they don't have a ton of time, right? We're for people who need email to be simple, for people who don't want to hire a consultant for thousands of dollars to manage it for them, people who need to be able to go in, send an email, and then get back to what they're doing, what they really want to be doing, get back to creating. And it's for people who want to connect with an audience, to have the right leads, right? And to really provide value for people and create a sustainable and scalable business doing something you really like. So that's who we're for. We're definitely for people like that. And these are some of the reasons I hear most of all. But Brad's here. So Brad, why do you choose ConvertKit? Why do you recommend ConvertKit in particular for freelancers?
Oh my gosh. So for me, it's like, it's a no-brainer. And to go back to my, thing I was talking about there about what Alea was telling me, that your trial should work for you. Not only should your trial work for you, but your investment in anything in your business should work for you. So I am always, for me in my business, looking for ways to understand if I'm paying for something, whether that's $5 a month or whether that's $500 a month, it should be something that makes me at least that much in money or in valued time. So for example, if I am paying $100 a month for a service or a software, or even a person, if I hire somebody for $100 a month to do something small, that should at least save me that $100. So if I say my hourly rate is $100 an hour, then they should save me at least 1 hour, and it's already worth it. Now, if it comes to software, bringing it directly to this, for $29, I was saying there in the comments, if that can generate one $500 client, a $500 client is not hard to get. And even if we're really conservative with the estimates and say, if your $29 investment generates one $500 client every 2 months, which I'd like to see that way better for you, and there are very simple ways to make that happen, that's already worth it. That's an easy investment. So if your efforts are creating, your automated efforts are creating a $500 client every month or every other month, then all you have to do is improve that, tweak it, scale it up, double it. And now you're making $1,000 every other month. So it's easy math. $29 a month for under 1,000 subscribers. Am I getting that right?
Yep, you got it.
So here's the thing. Most of you are going to stay within that sub 1,000 subscriber mark, because you don't need, as freelancers, 1,000 leads. You need 100 leads. You need, 80 leads, 140 leads. Those are actively engaged people who are interested in you. So you're going to see higher engagement rates, open rates and percentages, because you're not a blogger just writing about topics and people are just generally interested. You are actually a service-based business where people are actively wondering if you are for them. So you don't need to have 1,000 leads. And if you do, this is where it gets better. If you go over 1,000 and then you're bumped up to the next monthly subscription price, if you're a freelancer with 2,000 freaking leads, then you should be making it rain on a daily basis. That is an easy investment. If I'm going to pay somebody $50 a month, $100 a month, and they make me $500, $1,000, $5,000 a month, I don't care how much it costs, because that is an easy no-brainer. So I know you're asking me why would I choose ConvertKit? Why is it, what's the benefit that I see? For me, I always like to tie things to what's my return. So if I'm giving you $1, are you going to make me $2? Are you going to make me $5? In this case, it's a no-brainer. Also, it's not just in monetary value, it's in time. So a lot of freelancers here are starting from scratch or starting on the side. And so your most valuable asset is your time, because you have your full-time job, you have your family and your own hobbies and personal pursuits. And then you have this small sliver of time for freelancing. If you're spending that 2 hours per week or 5 hours per week, just messing around, responding to client emails, trying to figure out a marketing strategy and not actively growing your business, then it's going to take you so much longer. If you create a system and automations that handle the client nurturing, the education, the relationship building, the pitching, the ongoing communication that converts past clients into repeat clients and referrals and testimonials, that's time that you would have spent manually doing that, but now you're not. Now you're actually serving more clients. Now you're improving your website. You're improving your subscription percentages. You're improving your business and working on your business rather than writing a bunch of freaking emails all the time. So that, if your hourly rate is $50 an hour and it takes you 2 hours, it's saving you all that time. So not only can it make you money and save you time, it's a no-brainer. Whether you have one client or 100 clients, this is an obvious, glaringly obvious gold mine. That's why I said that. And I'm certain that now at this point, if you're still here, which pretty much everybody is, that's obvious. And with all the freebies, with the course, with the Product to Profit Masterclass, with the template that I provided, with the free trial, all of this should not only get you excited, but it should actually start earning you a return, whether that's in money and clients or on your time. And that for me is, if this was Brad in 2012, when I first started full-time freelancing and I was on this webinar, I'm certain that my freelance business would have grown way faster with way less stress.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much, Brad. And Aaliyah said, wait, where'd it go? I have less than 500 leads and ConvertKit pays for itself every month times 10. So that's pretty cool. But thank you for all of that, Brad. That was amazing. And thank you all for coming to this. This is your last call for questions. If you have any questions we haven't answered yet, please put them in the Q&A box so we can see them before we head out. And if you haven't already, you can go to convertkit.com/Brad88 to get all the bonuses, especially the Product and Profit Masterclass, because that is just for those of you who are here live. So thank you all so much for being here. I think I see a question in the chat actually from Rod. So question, this is for a list of under 1,000 subscribers, and can you work the list in different segments or products, or does it only work for one list? Oh, I love this because Rod has a landing page in Spanish and another one in English. So Rod, you can absolutely have different groups. That's kind of the whole point. So I showed you that one landing page, right? That could be one in Spanish, and then you could do another one in English, and then you're just going to have two different email sequences, right? Depending on what it is you want to send them. And as you really grow your strategy, you can do a lot of different things. We also have a thing called tags and segments. So you can segment your list and know exactly who you're talking to. So if you have different services or products, you can easily only email people who are interested in one product or one service. And this is a really good thing to do. The more personalized you send your emails and sending them only to the right people, the better. So very, very good question, Rod. And then Oladurian asked, do we get a video of this training? So yes, you will get a replay in your inbox by the end of the day, although some of you are on some very, very different time zones, but within the next 5 hours, you should see a replay in your inbox. It just has to load, and we'll put it all together for you and send that to you as well. So you will see that it doesn't last forever, but you will have it to be able to go back and reference some of the stuff we talked about. Feel free to screenshot any slides if you want to have them for reference. But I want to thank all of you for coming here today. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Cabrina, for helping out. It was so awesome. Thank you, Brad. Anything else you want to say before we go?
I just want to say thank you to everyone for coming. I know that when I send an email to people, it's usually just for my stuff or the courses or the stuff that I create. So when I send out an email that's talking about something outside of my little environment, I'm very careful about that. I don't promote or talk about something that I don't stand behind. And for me, this is an obvious complementary offering. It's obvious for my audience. And I teach about email marketing and stuff in my own business. But this for me is like, this is, like I said, the gold mine. And so I really wanted to make sure that as many people as possible were able to see this. So I really appreciate everybody spending time coming and watching this. And I hope that you got a ton of value from it, and that this free month and all the bonuses work for you. I want you to use that time to actually have it work for you, so that by the end of the month, day 25, day 29, it's an obvious, yeah, I'm in. And that's what I want to see for everybody.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brad. And Niraj, again, you have to tell me if I'm saying that wrong or tell me how to say it right. But said, Easton, Brad, it's awesome to be here live. You taught us so many things. I really appreciated your time and support. And Pixel said, thank you all for the valuable info. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Andres and Oladiran and Rob. So many nice comments. I just had to mention because it makes me very happy. So thank you all so much for coming. If you have any questions that you think of once we leave and you're like, oh, I should have asked that when Isa and Brad and Kabrina were here, no worries. We're still here for you. Email help@convertkit.com with any questions you have about setting this up, any questions you have about your account, any questions you have at all about anything we've talked about. Just email us at help@convertkit.com and we will be here for you. There are real people who answer that email. They're my friends. They're people like Kabrina, and they will help you with whatever you need all throughout this process. In the bottom right-hand corner of your account too, you'll see live chat. And that's what someone like Kabrina does too. So really nice people to help you if you get stuck with anything or just have a question. So we're here for you. Thank you all so much. Sally said, thanks guys. This was worth it, with a smiley face. And Cameron said, this was dope. I'm screenshotting these. I like to look at them. They make me happy. Thank you all so much. Brad, thank you for inviting me to hang out with your freelancers. This was so much fun. Anything else you want to say as a goodbye?
Just thank you, and use this time wisely. I said strike while the iron is hot. Well, it is piping hot. And I think that now is the time to get it done.
Love it. Thank you, Brad. Bye, everyone.
Bye.